guys, it's Eileen coming at you from Just Kettlebells again. This is the second video in the series of how to train at home with light kettlebells, if that's all you have. So today we're doing the swing, which of course is the heart of kettlebell training. And so if the bell you have at home is too light for two-hand swings, which is really what we're looking at. So here are some variations that you can do to still get some good use out of a light kettlebell. The first, which is kind of a no-brainer, is if the bell that you have, like right here I have a 12 kilogram, 26 pound bell, which is very light for two-hand swings for me. Obviously I can switch to one-hand swings, or I can do a mix of one-hand and two-hand, or I can come hand-to-hand. And I'm still going to get good use out of that kettlebell. Two points just to remember when you're switching from two-hand to one-hand is that the form for a two-hand swing and a one-hand swing should be the same in how it looks, meaning my hips are going to stay square, my shoulders are going to stay square. I'm going to come down to the kettlebell with two hands when I start, take one hand off, so that everything remains square. What I don't want to do when I see so often is people just come down and they reach. And already they're starting with their hips uneven and their shoulders uneven. And this is just going to make for uneven swings. We really want to come down as if you were swinging two-hand. It should kind of look the same in your shoulders and your hips. The other thing to remember when you're working with a light kettlebell is even though it's light and you probably don't need the same hip power, you do still want to have the same form. So you don't want to cheat here and just be, getting lazy and kind of not coming down and using your arms now to swing. You still want to use your hips to power the bell, keep the arms loose. Don't let it ride too high, but it's gonna, with a light kettlebell, it's gonna come up higher. Just make sure that you're keeping your shoulders packed. So that's the first thing. You can move to one arm swings. The second thing is you could do sets of power swings or dead stop swings. And so what that means is you're going to stop and reset the kettlebell each rep. It's a good opportunity to make sure that you're getting that kettlebell nice and high, like when I posted the video on the pendulum swings. You're getting good power and resetting each time. I should stay forward, not down. So it's a good way to really focus on the setup in the park. But the bell is going to feel heavier because you don't have the momentum from the backswing. So each time you really have to use your full power of your hip. So it's a great way to train with a lighter kettlebell. My third variation, we did this yesterday with the deadlifts. You can do it with swings too. You can use a band to add an extra resistance to the swing, so you can have it between your feet here, and then I'm going to swing like normal. And down. And what you'll find what that does is it steals the float at the top of the swing. If you do a couple sets with the band, and then you do a set without the band, the bell is going to feel really light, and you'll really notice the float of the bell. And so I sometimes use this as a training tool when people are not really letting the bell float, to really feel what that feels like when the bell floats. And so do 4 or 5 sets with the band, and then do 1 set without the band, and you'll really be able to feel the difference and feel where the bell is floating. The other way to get a similar effect without the band is to do what I have on there as number 4, which is overspeed swings. Now here, instead of using a band to pull the bell back down, you're going to use your own force to pull the bell back down and not let the bell float. So they're much faster. Let me show it from the side. And they demand a lot more energy and power, because you're not getting that little rest where the bell floats. So you can do sets of overspeed swings. Will make will train you to be much more powerful and ballistic. And then when you go back to regular swinging, again, you'll be able to feel the float. You'll be able to get that rhythm a little more, because the overspeed swings is that fast rhythm. When you move to floating, then you'll be able to feel the bell float. You'll be able to wait for it to come down to you and then pop it back up. All right, the next variation, which I love, and again, don't do enough, we do them sometimes in the servants class, is athletic swings. And this was one of the things that we were going to go over in the Kettlebell 101 class, and when we resume, we will. Same with overspeed swings. So athletic swings just means that you're going to add an athletic movement to your swing. So the first one is you can add a squat. So I could swing and squat and swing and squat. Now in between I'm doing a little two-hand clean is what they'll call that. So that's another variation you can kind of add. So, but there's other ways to add athletic moves to the swing, and the other is to add a step. Now there's two ways to add a step. You can add a kind of a stationary step, which is when the bell floats, I'm going to step to the side. I'm going to kind of just do a little back step or a little side step, something. You'll be able to feel the rhythm of it. It's important to do it when the bell is floating, not when the bell is down here. So to demonstrate, let the bell come up and float. So that's one way. You can add the step that way. The other way to add the step, which tends to take a little more concentration, is to actually add like a walking step. So I'm going to swing and then I'm going to step, step, swing, step, step, swing, step, step. So this is a full side step. So again, when the bell is floating, I'm going to add the step. Yeah, you will find that really gets your heart rate going. So you can go side to side. You can actually walk it, and instead of coming back and forth, you can walk all the way down, you can walk all the way back, doing that side step for the swing. The other thing that you can do is do a forward or back step. Catching my breath a little. So it's the same thing. It's a similar concept. When the bell floats, you walk. So. Same thing. And then again, you can see you can add, those things together. You could walk in a box, come back and down, or any variety of those things when you're adding the walk to the step. It really will add a whole other element of cardio to your swings, which is going to get the heart rate up. And again, so when we're working with a light kettlebell, we're not going to be really adding a lot of strength. We're really going to be adding some endurance and some additional cardio to the workout. And then in particular, training good form, making sure that your form is the same with a light kettlebell as it is with a heavy kettlebell. So number 6 is to mix in some pulls and snatches. So some people do two-hand pulls. I don't necessarily like that movement because the bell comes right in front of your face and kind of this way, and if you overpower it, it could pop you in the face. So I don't particularly like those. But if you're comfortable with your bell size with the one hand, and it's still even kind of too light to be doing one hand, or even those are kind of light, you can do pulls. You can do low, medium, or high pulls, or of course, you can do the snatches. Or you can do a variety. We like swing, pull, and snatch. That's one of my favorites. So you can mix in some pulls and snatches into your swing sets to get more work out of the bell, and again, make this light bell feel heavier, and you're getting the same amount of work done as if you had a heavier kettlebell. And speaking about the amount of work, it comes to the last thing, which really isn't a variety of the swing, but a variety in your training. And so when you're working with a light bell, what you want to do in order to continue to be adapting your body to, you want to increase the load some way. If you're not able to increase it with the weight, then there's two other ways to increase it. You can increase it with the volume of swings that you're doing. How many? If you normally do 100 swings a day, well, with a lighter bell, let's do 200 swings a day, 150. And you can increase the density. So if you normally swing 10 on a minute for 10 minutes, and that's 100 swings, you could do 10 on a minute for 20 minutes, and that's 200 swings. But if you don't have 20 minutes, or if your schedule doesn't really allow you to be adding all this extra time, you could increase the density. So I wouldn't do that too fast. Start slowly, because it's gonna, even if you're normally swinging 10 on a minute, and then you jump to 15 on a minute, that's gonna feel like a big change. So when I increase my swings, and I'm actually doing an increased volume training right now, taking a little break from my sinister training, start with 10 on the minute for 16 minutes, and then I work myself up to 20, and then I'm gonna do 11 on the minute, and then 12 on the minute, and work myself up, and then wave the load, where every time I move up in reps, I come back down in time, and then I just kind of wave that load. I'll post that volume training so you can see what that's like. And so that brings me up to 20 minutes, but then in the end, I'm hoping to do 300 swings in that 20 minutes, so I'm working up to 15 minutes. So that is it for light kettlebell swings. If you have any questions, or if you have any other ideas or suggestions of things I didn't think of, you can post them in the comments below. Again, please stay safe, stay vigilant,